Diaspora babies. We are born of pregnant pauses, spilled from unwanted wombs, squalling invisible ink poems written in the margins of a map of a place called No Homeland.
Everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Lunar New Year. I just want to cut right to the chase and get straight to the show. Entertainer of the Year, firstborn of the House of Rice. Let's give it up for Maiden China.
My name is Kendall Yan, also known as Maiden China. I'm an intersectional feminist drag queen. I'm from Langley, BC. No, really, Langley, BC. I do get people that are like, but where are you from? Like, what's your ethnicity? I'm like, Maiden China. So I'm Chinese. And they're like, really? You don't look like it. And so my drag mom, Shay Dior, is the person who put me in drag for the first time on stage. And yeah, when she approached me about doing drag, I told her that that's what my name was. She just thought it was brilliant. Like, how dare you have that name?
I am the prodigal daughter of the House of Rice.
The firstborn.
The firstborn.
The original. The original grain.
The first grain.
In the moment Kendall said Maiden China, I just like fell to the ground. I was like, it's happening. Like it has to happen.
Like actually on the ground. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, that has to happen.
Yeah, and I just thought you were so cool because I was obsessed with drag queens, but I've never actually done it.
So I did a number at the opening night of Vancouver Queer Film Festival where I did the song Human by Sevdaliza, and the song is about how all of us are just human. We're all the same flesh, same skin, and I threw in recorded messages, like I recorded myself, of me reading these Grindr profiles that were expressing basically racial preferences.
Yeah, I remember, wasn't one of the messages was so cruel. It was like, I've turned down more Asians than...
something about, I've blocked more Asians than the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, like what? But that's like there feels like there is just a big shift in a lot of places.
Yeah.
For like now there's the platform.
Just everything that's happening right now that I've noticed, or like we've noticed, like Yellow Peril is like this is huge for you guys. Rice Cake has been like blowing up. Like the other parties I feel like was about fitting in almost, like creating a party to like make yourself fit in within the gay community or the queer community. But this one is like, I feel like this movement is a shift in the sense that it's like, we're all taking our stance and we're like making space for ourselves. There's a yellow revolution happening and we're part of it, and this is everything.
Yeah, she started out as kind of like a punk rock riot girl, I guess. A lot of like Susie Sue, Pussy Riot, that kind of stuff. And like far more campy. And then just as she's been evolving and changing, the aesthetic is like quite a bit alien. And I think that ties into like the idea of being like raced, and even just like using that language of being like an alien because of colonialism.
We get it. You love puns.
Yeah. When I do drag, it's usually in a club setting. So to me, those spaces are like, you're a bunch of people packed into this usually smaller-ish room. It's hot, sweaty, people are dancing, you're watching the show. You're so close together. It's so intimate, but you rarely have like an actual intimate moment with someone. So with as many people as possible in the like 3 to 5 minute time frame that I have, I like to really like hone in on someone individually. Yeah, I think there's something like really valuable about having that human connection. I think it can save someone's day. When I think of my father, I think of him alone, filling black and white boxes in a borrowed language, and how his tongue never issues from my mouth, my sister's mouths, my brother's mouths. My language is a gift from his mouth. When I think of my father, I think of myself. Soy sauce on white rice, and what could that mean? And brown eyes slant, and skin yellows, and throat closes. Not so fast, be oriental. Mixed, like bar snacks, like flavor. Oh, mixed children, so beautiful, like dolls.
Is my look that fierce?
Not anymore.
It's like this?
No, you're soft and tender now.
Soft and tender.
Yeah.
When he was about 5 years old, there's a play coming to Vancouver. It's called Miss Saigon. So his mom took him to the audition. And out of, I don't know how many kids, over hundreds.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah. He's only 5 years old. He memorized all the. He had no speaking part in the movie, but
It's just like drag.
he knows
just like
all
drag.
the song. He sings it. He was obviously because he's the star in Miss Vietnam, Miss Saigon. Yeah, he was very theoretical.
Theoretical?
Yeah.
Theatrical.
Yeah.
So, Yellow Peril, Queer Destiny.
I feel like I'm just gonna like
Oh my God.
die on this thing.
B1.
Our family's super gay.
We were obviously gay.
We're obviously gay. But like growing up, I was like the worst older brother, and just like not present. Because I was like, I wanted to be
detached.
I wanted to be
pretty
very
soon.
independent.
Yeah.
I guess I gayed first, but like my coming out story was like boring. Like they were on the patio, the back patio, and Dad was doing his crossword, like he always does his crossword.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, so-and-so is going to stay with us because he got kicked out because he came out to his parents. And then they were like, are you also gay? And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, okay. Which I feel like it wasn't a big surprise because I was like the kid who was always in theater,
Yeah.
despite the fact you were, Tam and Miss Saigon, whatever.
Well, we were both theater kids.
Yeah.
I was just the successful one.
Shut up. Shut up. No.
But my coming out story was like that too.
Yeah.
Like, I was obviously gay,
Yeah.
even though. So,
Yes.
through elementary school too, because I was in like every theater production.
Yeah.
Not that being in theater means you're gay.
It
but
kinda
like,
means you're gay.
It kind of means you're gay.
Yeah.
But Dad was driving me to a rehearsal. And he opened up the conversation with, so your mom says you have a website and it says you're gay on it. And so he's talking about Facebook.
You have a website.
You have a website. And like the way that sounds is like,
Yeah.
I have a webcam or like I have like a porn site. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, I am. And he was just like, okay, just so you know, like, we still love you. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was like,
It was very chill.
yeah, very chill, no drama.
The last spike was not driven by a white man. Neither was the first, but beginnings are feeble and concede to the misery of the middle when the camera that punctuates the end shudders in the hands of a white man. And the track becomes a hyphen, where my hands are bound, my feet are bound, my mouth is gagged, my eyes are blind, and the first train, conducted by a white man, rages on the tracks. The legacy of my forefathers lies in track laid coast to coast, so I travel station to station, searching for bones blasted into mountainside. Blood bleached white, thick with silence, complicit in my own unraveling. Repatriated on the iron hyphen.
So every line dance has a set routine. You can do it, you can add a lot of variety to it, but every line dance basically follows a storyline. So the line will start by bowing. It will acknowledge the audience by bowing, and you'll bow 3 times in 3 directions. So bow.
That was amazing. Like watching the two of you, I feel like I got a really nice treat walking in here, getting a snapshot of this.
That is the line we borrowed for your performance, remember?
And your brother helped you, right?
Yeah, my little brother Ryan. So when we got that line for Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar, afterwards, when I posted some of those pictures on Instagram, there was a man who practices Kung Fu, who asked me, so what kind of martial arts do you practice? He was talking about how he had spent a lot of his time and put a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears into learning and practicing this art. And we were picking something up that was sacred to him, using it in our own way, and not paying honor to that.
I had a lot of people come up to me afterwards that were queer Chinese people, like in tears about the fact that that happened in space, that like they came to the night and just like something that they never even knew they wanted to see happen in a space that they frequent, and they never see themselves reflected in that stage.
And a lot of times, it's because you're not Chinese enough has been used towards me. And if I say, I think everybody should be able to lion dance, like, oh no, it's because you're not Chinese enough, you don't get the tradition.
Because you've wanted to do this for a long time, yeah. And I feel like you said you've been doing it for 4 years?
Yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years. I always say we because I couldn't start if I didn't meet my line dance partner, Vicky. And I've always wanted to line dance, but I never had a chance to. Nobody would teach me because line dance was traditionally reserved only for boys. So when you have a Kung Fu school and you have a lion dance team, the boys would get to lion dance, and if you're a girl or if you're a boy born assigned female, then you're usually delegated to playing the cymbals, or maybe the drums, or maybe you're carrying a flag in the back and you're just like kind of like part of the backdrop. So a lot of the people we teach are kids, a lot of them are girls, and I love line dancing. You can do it at all age, it's body friendly, you can have any kind of body type, and it's for everybody.
I've been told that sometimes that when I do a drag performance that has cultural aspects, that's like a commodification of a culture, that because I'm not Chinese enough, that like I'm using it as like a gimmick, you know, and instead of what it actually is, which is like trying to to like bridge intersections and say that like these practices are valid in queer spaces and vice versa, that queerness is valid in Chinese spaces, like that there is a harmony there that can exist. I've had some people say like, what, and I think they meant it as a compliment, like, I see what you do, not as drag, it's just art. But then it's like, well, what's the distinction? Like, why isn't drag art? A lot of distinctions around art are kind of silly. So, and like, not to say that you can't like categorize certain things, but I think when you build like boundaries to say like, well, that doesn't belong over here, you can only put that in this box. Like, that infuriates me and like drives me to just want to rip the box apart. Someone who does like classic camp drag, yet somehow can't call that art. You spend hours on your face, you've learned how to play with light and shadow, just like someone who does oils or acrylics on your face while it's moving, and you keep that on for hours and hours and hours, choreographing, singing, lip syncing, improvising. You know, you're doing theater. You're doing all of these things and you can't call it art. Yep, I do something that's like androgynous, and so that's art. It doesn't make sense. Maiden China is like, through all of the things that she is, she's a very strong and steadfast and furiously fierce being. You know, she's very ethereal. She's very unreal, but real. And I don't always feel that strong. I don't always feel like that sure as a person in my life. So that's where Maiden China and Kendall Yan differ. But you know what? Maybe she feels like that too. How would Maiden China describe me? I think she would say, she would describe me as being thoughtful and overwrought with emotion. I think she would point out the fact that I overthink everything and tell me to like slow down. I think she would probably see more positive qualities in myself than I do, and like not make such a big deal out of things that are flaws or could be perceived to be flaws, you know. Diaspora haunted, we hunt for pregnant pauses, give birth from unwanted yellow wombs, bodies like invisible ink poems, ghost children drawing maps in the margins of a place called No Homeland.